had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also, they're a literal vampire. And suddenly, my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Finish your fantasy lineup?
No, but I'm joining this paid group chat with insider info.
Dude, seriously? Forward it to me. Security alert from McAfee. That group's as legit as that knockoff jersey you're wearing.
McAfee's scam detector is available in all McAfee plans for as little as $39.99 for your first year. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
Welcome to part 2 of this weekend's coverage of that miserable defeat yesterday at Blackburn, 2-0 for Millwall. This is the second part of the show. I did the first part with John Shipman and Ro Hewish. Combined with the voicemails, it made too long an edition, so I've split it into 2 for your delectation, dear listeners. Before we go over to the voicemails, though, I just wanted to wish you all a happy Christmas. I want to say a big thank you for listening to Achtung Millwall. It really means a lot to get feedback from people and to hear from listeners all over the world, to be honest. And we are in the festive season now, halfway through the season nearly. The game at home to Ipswich on Boxing Day is the halfway point of what has been an interesting season, to say the least. We've had some miserable experiences, e.g. yesterday, but also some fantastic wins, such as that classic game against Southampton not a few weeks ago. So we do swing from extreme to extreme at the Den. Will we have it any other way, dear listeners? But anyway, I just wanted to take this chance before I go into the voicemail show to wish you and your family and all your friends and neighbours, everyone around you, a very happy Christmas. If we don't speak again, then catch up with you at the after the Ipswich game. Do send me your voicemails. I really appreciate them, listeners. Thank you for tuning in. Now we're going to go over to the inimitable, the roller coaster ride of emotion that is Mr. Bobby T. Stay tuned, dear listeners.
Hello?
Yeah, afternoon, Nick. Achtung Millwall. I'm on my sofa. I wasn't going to do the 5 hours there, 5 hours back. Poor souls. It's only 20 minutes gone now, Nick Hart. And Blackburn have got a makeshift team, a young team, and they're making us look like fucking Yeovil Town. We are shit. It's 20 minutes gone. We can't put a pass together. He's bought Danny McInerney. I get it. Why drop Taylor? A handball. Referee's a fucking joke. And Doggett, here we go. Marcus on the... And Mackie, I'm sorry. You say he's got talent in the car. I think he's shit. No end product. Youngster, yeah. But anyway, 1-0 down. Blackburn is the shittest Blackburn team I've ever seen. All youngsters playing for the first time. And we're losing. Bye for now. 20 minutes gone. Achtung Millwall, Bobby T. Not happy. Nick Hart, Bobby T. This is a fucking embarrassing watch. For the goal, it was a fucking, too much respect. Open up on the right back and all that. Sturridge and Cooper, fucking shocking. 1-0 down. I hope we can win this 3-1. Because they're shit. Fuck me. Another fucking bent ref. Yeah, sorry, Nick Hart. Last one now. But I know it's not a full-time reaction. We've got nothing going forward. Ivanovic don't want to know. Amaka don't want to know. We're toothless. Fucking January, man. Beres will get your checkbook out, mate. We're fucking diabolical. We're just... Good night. Bye for now, Bobby T. Fucking bollock shit. Fuck off. Game over. Season over. 2-0. Fuck Millwall. Good night. Taylor should never be dropped. Callum Taylor. He just missed a fucking sitter open goal header. I don't know. Can we do this 3-2? I don't know. I don't know. Look, with like 6 minutes to go, a 14-year-old at centre back for Blackburn, a 14-year-old, and Langstaff can't outmuscle him. Fucking joke. This is a Blackburn side who's like under 14s team and we're losing 2-0. Langstaff, Mihailo, can't cut it. I don't care what anyone says. January checkbook changed the whole fucking team, man. Good night, Merry Christmas. You're not going to get full-time reaction because I'm fucking fuming. Merry Christmas, good night. No, Nick, I'm not going to finish there, so I'll see. I'm going to have my fucking say, and I'm fucking pissed off right here. Right, we gifted them Merry Christmas, 2 Christmas present gifts on the goals. First goal, shocking the best. And Danny Mac, yeah, you say Cooper, Danny Mac, all Millwall legend. Bollocks, if you ask me. Cooper was shit today. Taylor should never have been dropped. And I look back and I think, oh yeah, Ballard's not that good. And the second goal, Danny Mac, he should have gone to QPR. I'm sorry to say that. But, I don't know. Good night, Mac. Could be 3-0. Utter dog shit. Merry Christmas, Achtung Millwall and Nick and all you podcasts. No passion, no fight, no bite. Shit, Millwall.
Bobby T, speaking for all of us, dear listeners, the roller coaster of emotion for yesterday, which was a diabolical showing. I don't think there's any dispute about that at all, Bob. The Marku question, I think it was Jay Thomas on X make the similar points about the lack of quality of Idemo and Marku. Obviously, at the moment, we have limited options on the wing, dear listeners, and with Femi being suspended for Ipswich and then for the Stoke game, I think, isn't it? I think he's back for Southampton. We don't have many other players to put into the mix on the wing, and Idemo is a frustrating boy sometimes. I think I probably it's one of those situations where you want somebody to succeed, and it can become easy to be blinded to the reality of what you're seeing. He did have a number of players on him yesterday. He's done well on occasion. He scored well in the previous match, the 3-1 loss to Hull City. I mean, that's no consolation for yesterday. But we got to improve. I think the club's got some hard decision making, if not in January, certainly at the end of this term, depending on how it goes. Very difficult to see with a performance like yesterday's any kind of playoff challenge. I think we're more than good enough to finish in the kind of mid to upper side of things in the table. That's where my expectation is right now, based on the current squad and a rather worrying, disconcerting lack of spine yesterday. Everyone looked a bit like strangers. I said that when in the previous couple of interviews we've done, with Rowe and then John last night. We looked a little bit disjointed in defence, which is very, very odd. We certainly had no threat going forwards, just going back to Marku. And sadly to Ballo, I do like, but he does need a bigger boy, a stronger enforcer kind of person around him to create the physical space in which somebody like Ballo, maybe even in Marku to a lesser degree, I think Ballo is a more talented player, potentially. But we don't have anyone in midfield, no leadership, no one that will not tolerate a dire showing, such as we had yesterday. The days of the likes of Alex Ray are long gone. The Terry Hurlock that we all us old buffers yearn for have gone. So the modern game maybe doesn't lend itself so well to that kind of approach. But what we wouldn't have given yesterday for Alex Ray in his pomp out there to at least put a shot on target with power toward the goal. We had no threat at all yesterday. And, sadly, as much as, he's an industrious, willing, honest boy, Macaulay Langstaff has not proved himself at championship level. Harsh, but true. Big thank you there to Bobby T. Bob, I feel your pain, mate. We're going to run 2 messages together. Then we're going to have a listen to Glyn Horner, then Hassan.
Hey, Nick, Glyn here. So, let's wrap up the end of the year now. I mean, it's been a fantastic start to the season. We have been desperately unlucky with injuries and key players dropping out at crucial points in the season. What the club has managed to achieve right now, getting us up to third or fourth place, is quite incredible. Just before this weekend, that is, of course. I'm sure we're lower now. I have honestly thought that our true position in the league right now should be about sort of 7th or 8th, in all honesty. I didn't think we were a third place team, and I still don't think that. When we get all our players back, we're probably a top 6 team, but we need all our players back and fit and performing regularly to be there. And you listen to Steve Gallen's recent interview. Even he expressed that some of these young lads have come into the team a lot sooner than they had expected them to when they had bought them. And so, he highlighted that the club is a squad in transition, and I think that's clear to see. But it does paint a very positive picture for the future if we can keep some of these players and keep developing them. And, we are seeing these players improving as they get more game time. Max Crocombe obviously had a disappointing day, and quite frankly, I'm going to cut the guy some slack. He has also played very well for us, and this is the first bad performance since he's had a run in the team. So, quite frankly, I think he deserves a bit of trust and a bit of faith. And I certainly don't think Stephen Bender's an improvement on him, so I would keep him there. And I would say it's probably too soon for Lucas to step back in the team as well after such a bad injury with his Achilles. So Max, just dust yourself down, get back on the pitch, and start putting in the performances we know you're capable of. Because after the mistakes, I mean, actually, he put in a very good game, and I actually don't think he was that responsible for the second goal. I think the ball was nodded past him. He came out to claim it, and what we don't know is whether or not I can't remember who it was who headed the ball past him, but whether or not they should have just left it and let him collect if he'd called for it. I think Nagley looked pretty good today. I'm going to give him, some credit. I also think Billy Mitchell looked fantastic. I like having come back so soon. I mean, obviously we've got to phase him in and give him, limited game time as he rebuilds his fitness. The new head of performance that's been brought on board is a really interesting role. We do have a problem, and I know all clubs have injuries, but it does seem right now that our players are dropping like flies, and that says to me that something is amiss and it needs addressing. So I'm glad that the club have taken action on that, and it looks like that this person comes highly regarded, and so hopefully we'll be able to get to the bottom of what's going on, or at least monitor the players' performance level so we don't lose them on such a regular basis. January is going to be really important. We need some new bodies in the building. Not a lot, I don't think, but a few, just to replace some of the aging squad members that maybe aren't going to be with the club in the longer term. I certainly don't think we should be buying players short-term high salaries, because I think the club's long-term strategy is working. And if we digress from that, I think that would be a mistake. So I think any signings we make in January should continue to be players with potential. So hopefully that will be the case. All in all, if we do finish in the top 8, that wouldn't be a bad season for us. So I'm pretty positive. I think the future is going to be positive. We just got to bring these players back off the injury table and onto the pitch, and that looks like that will start to happen in the new year. So onwards and upwards. Playoffs is definitely on the cards. Come on, you Lions. Oh, a Merry Christmas to everyone.
Hi, Nick. It's Hassan here. Just leaving some thoughts and comments after today's poor showing, it has to be said. I don't know what you can take out of that in terms of positivity. We were just awful. From the first ball to the last ball, just looked second best, lackluster. Whatever football cliche you want to put out there, we just didn't look up for it. I'm struggling to remember any chances that we had. I think Nicola won the first half, went over the bar. Second half, a few scrambled efforts. Taylor missed a free header. It's just another tough day at the office, really. And to be honest with you, this excuse now of injuries, I think it's wearing thin. Other teams have got injuries, and they're still finding ways to win games. We've been poor the last 2 now. I'm sorry, against Hull. That I suppose, you could say having the lack of midfielders didn't help. I think I got 10 men, but today I'm not putting that down to their injuries. I'm just putting that down to the players. I'm not saying they don't care, but they just don't look up for it. Their confidence is shot to bits. Motivation is really low by the looks of it. And it looks like they can't wait to have their Christmas turkey. I mean, we gifted them goals. Blackburn are a terrible side. You can see why they haven't won at home since October. And you saw law that they were going to win, weren't they? Let's face it. That's what we will do. We turn up to town and we break people's ducks. Yeah, just calamity in the goalkeeper. And let's face it, we've been slagging Bender off all season. Crocombe, I don't want to say he's just as dodgy, but he has very questionable moments at times. Kicking was awful today. He's definitely at fault for the first goal. I don't know what he was doing. Defence didn't help him out either. Second goal was obviously miscommunication between him and McNamara. They're both to blame for that. And yeah, that's about it, really, isn't it? Not much to say. I suppose only slight bit of positivity is that Billy Mitchell started and played, I think, 60 minutes, and Ryan Leonard came on and played half an hour. So there's 2 more players that are back in the side. But I said to my brother, funny enough, before the game, I said we'd be lucky to get any wins between now and the end of the year with 3 games. I personally think I can't see us winning. I can't see us beating Ipswich. I can't see us beating Bristol City. Sounds pretty poor to say that, but as it is now, I take draws against a pair of them and just get to the new year and start again. Yeah, to me the team looks short of confidence as well, which is not a good sign. We're not creating anything, creating nothing today. You got a lot of players on the pitch who are supposed to be flair players, but not doing nothing. I mean, the second half he changed it up. You can tell he listen to his interview how pissed off he was. The fact that he hauled off Ballo and Maku and Sturge says it all, really. He's obviously, he's lost his shit with all 3 of them, among others. In terms of individual performances, for me, Ballo, since that Stoke game, that's his peak. He's just dropped off the ball since then. I think he's actually a very average left winger. I don't know what the option is to sign him or not, but I think we can do better than him personally. He doesn't influence the game enough. I don't see it. And Maku, again, he's not good enough for the Championship. I'm sorry. I've made my mind up on him there. He's League One at best. He's another Fred Onyedinma, It looks like he can do it all, but he really can't. And he'll be at Wickham, I think, come next season. He's not good enough. Apart from that, Cooperhead was a bit of a calamity all day. Even Kramer, all over the place. But yeah, let's lick our wounds and we'll go again. But otherwise, Nick, have a wonderful Christmas. All the love to the family, and we'll go again on Boxing Day. All the best.
Thank you, Hassan. Very kind, mate. And thank you also to Glyn for the messages. Yeah, it was awful. It's very hard to do a show like this, listeners, where you don't find yourself repeating yourself constantly. And I don't want to do that, but that's what we have on our plate from yesterday's poor showing. As I think I said to Ro at the start of this show, I don't quite get why our team. I agree that Hassan's put it, that they're lacking confidence and belief and all that, but I don't get how your hunger and desire fades so self-evidently, because we were sitting in 4th, we're still sitting in 6th, incredibly. Whether we deserve it or not, this is the halfway stage almost of a massive opportunity. This would be a life-changing opportunity for a group of players who, as Hassan has just nicely summed up there with 1 or 2 names, Ballo, Imaku and others, these are not top table players. They're willing. I would never question Idamo's honesty and his effort. Ballo, I think also I can't query the boy really. It's just a physical kind of his stature, and in Imaku's case, it's just quality. Everyone's got the ability that they've got, and I do agree that I keep waiting for one of these players to explode on the scene. I'm actually waiting for Negley, who didn't do too bad. I think it was Glyn said that he did okay. Yes, he did. But I'm waiting for him to really explode on the Mill scene and take control of a game and really dominate. we're not seeing it. He's the record signing, isn't he? Not one of them. He is the record signing, 4.5 million. So pressure. Well, you don't get into professional sport unless you're able to handle pressure, or you should be able to. If you don't like the pressure, or if you prefer nice environments where you're going to get easy runs against opponents that don't want to play the dark arts against you, then you're probably better off choosing a lower level of football. So pressure comes with the turf at this point in the Championship. Is one of the top leagues in Europe. Apart from the big kind of Euro divisions like the Bundesliga and the Serie A and the La Liga and of course the Premier League. But it will be up there in that kind of top 10 kind of zone for money and pressure. This is what comes with the turf. You can't fade away like we saw yesterday, because suddenly the stakes are starting to get higher. The high rollers in Vegas don't bottle it and walk away, do they? They stay the course, for better or for worse. There we are. Big thank you then to Glyn and Hassan. We're going to play you now Aussie Dave and then Mark Willoughby.
Whether your business has 6 floors or 6 employees, Walmart Business has everything you need to save time, money, and hassle. You can restock your break room with bulk ordering or bulk up your ordering team with shared payments. And you can get it all delivered straight to your business's door, whether that's on Wall Street or Main Street. Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
Nick, Aussie Dave here, after another loss to our bogey team, Blackburn. My overall observation today, I'm going to put it under a heading, is our potential as good as we think it is? Now, some details on that. The first thing is looking at our defence. That used to be a key characteristic of a Millwall team. But this year, we're sinking in goals, 40% of games, we've let in 2+ goals. That is very un-Millwall-like. And we can't put it down to injuries. We've had you look at the person who have played in the back 4, back 5, generally said, well, there's no glaring misses. So you can't blame it on lack of availability of players. So maybe it's a setup, maybe missing a central defensive midfielder, doesn't. But the defence has been leaky, really, for most of the season and looked terrible against Blackburn, particularly the first half. The second area, scoring goals. We all know it's been a problem for a few years now. Now, besides Femi, I would suggest we don't have any effective winger. And we really need 2, don't we? Probably 3 with injuries. We've got Negley and Ballo, but I don't think they're cutting it as wingers. And linked to scoring goals, we are playing with a lone striker. And this is not working. And I think, and I go on about this every time I ring in, I think we're just not using the system of a lone striker correctly. We're doing long balls and open a flick on. That's very old school. And it doesn't matter if it's Ivanovic or Coburn. We need to rethink and use a lone striker, as most other teams do, as almost like a number 10 links up and then runs forward. Anyway, and also with not scoring goals, we've had quite a few forward players who've been available nearly all the season. Ballo, Negley, RBW and Maku. So we're not as badly depleted as in midfield. So I don't know, with the system there for scoring goals, it hasn't been clicked. Third and final point is Alex Neil. We all like him, but now there's just been about one too many games where we've been set up incorrectly, and it's ended up with some of our biggest defeats. And against Blackburn yesterday, we should have gone to 5 at the back. We had to play it tight, row it like, we all knew that. And we didn't. And he went at half time to that. And I understand his post-match interview said he was thinking about a 5. Well, I think it needed it. So defence is a problem. Scoring goals is a problem. And Alex Neil, I love him and I want to keep him, but I just think he's a bit inconsistent in his tactics. So in summary, we've had some really bad losses this year. Get teams like Wrexham, Birmingham, Portsmouth, Blackburn and Hull. I'm sure these are teams at the beginning of the season we thought, well, we should be beating teams like that if we've got any aspirations. Well, we lost to all of them quite badly. And in a recent ring-in, I said, it looks as though I think it's more about next season, which I hate to say, I'm coming more to realise is probably true. And let me re-quote how I started all this. Is our potential as good as we think it is? I'm not sure. Anyway, Ipswich, here we come. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Mark Willoughby. Thought I'd give you a quick voice message. I made the trip up to Blackburn today with me and a couple of mates. So thank you to Mrs. Willoughby for letting me abscond with lots of Christmas work still to do. As it is, it was a bit of a forlorn trip. We travelled up okay, got there all right, and enjoyed some good food, a nice little ground, and some nice food outlets at reasonably priced. So that was quite nice. So we're excited to hear the team news and see if Billy would feature, and we're very pleased to see him starting. And I thought he was our best player, by the way. So very, very happy that he came through sort of 65 minutes or so, and hopefully can play his way back in over the next couple of games. I thought he was our only bright spot, quite frankly. There was two. When we sort of saw the lineups, we were looking at it and said, right, okay, well, the back line's very solid. We got Cooper, Crammer, Sturgeon, Danny Mack there. And I thought they all looked shaky in that game. That should have been, the foundation for things. We were worried about the midfield, but one thing we weren't worried about was the back line. But they're all weren't at it. Cooper got robbed a couple of times. Kramer straight passes, got robbed in midfield. And so, mistakes, I expect everyone's seen it back by now, but mistakes played their part in both of the goals. The second was a horrendous mix-up between Danny Mack and Crocombe. I don't know who was actually to blame. If Crocombe shouts, then Danny Mack should have left it, but maybe he didn't hear. I don't know. But suffice to say, it was real mix-up. And that was the end of the game, really. But the first goal upset me a bit more, really. This is such a catalogue of errors and a chance to recover again, a bit like the last game. The ball was lost in a dangerous area. It went out wide. There was acres of space and 2 men over. Loads of time for the cross to come in. Ball gets hit straight at Crocombe, who can't decide whether to boot it or try and catch it. He does neither. It comes straight to their striker and in it goes. Just crap. So many chances to stop that goal happening. So 2-0 half time in a pretty turgid performance. We knew Alex wasn't happy when he brought on 3 subs. I thought that was a bit harsh on Maku. But, I guess he wanted to make a point. It did seem to result in a better performance in the second half. it felt like a bit of a sort of Gary Rowett type setup with sort of solidity but little pace, and then pretty much a lack of ideas, lumping the ball up to Ivanovic, who did quite well, got a couple of flick-ons, but no one on the end of it as usual. To me, the big chance we had was Taylor on just before 60 minutes, I think it was, a header, which was an easy enough chance, really. It's as good a chance you're going to get, and he should have scored. As we've seen in the last couple of matches, we've reverted to the team we saw at the start of the season, which is unable to take his chances. And if that had just gone in, we'd have had a good half an hour, and they would have been shaky because they got crap home form, and who knows what could have happened. But didn't go in, and that was that. So I think that one's best consigned to the history books. We got 3 games in quick succession, which worries me a bit, but we have got 6 days off before Ipswich, and I think it's very important that we take a point at least from that. But more importantly is to play well again, because we've had 2 games where we really haven't, and we don't want 3 losses in a row, 2 of which would be at the Den. So got to do something in that game. Let's hope we do. We had a nice exchange earlier, so thanks for that, and well done on making £800 for the food hub. That's a really good achievement. I met Kelly there last week and bought a couple of calendars, and she's a lovely lady, and so she does very, very well. So well done to her as well. Happy Christmas to you, to all the listeners. God bless, and let's hope for a joyous Christmas, both for our families and for Millwall. Come on, you Lions.
Second that emotion, Mark. Thank you very much, mate. Very kind words. And thank you to Aussie Dave previously for his message too. Yeah, just the calendar. In the end, we were able to generate £800 through total sales. Kelly will have the last few listeners. If anyone wants an Achtung calendar, she'll have the last few. I think she's probably got about 5 to 6, I think, still at the food hub stand. I'm not sure if she's open before the Ipswich game. It's an early kickoff, 1 o'clock kickoff, so I'm not sure if they're opening up for that early start. But when she's open next, either at Ipswich or the Bristol game, the midweek game, then if you do want one, she'll have a few. There aren't many left. Obviously, I didn't want to get too many printed because you don't want to be stuck with overruns and you can't do anything with them. So I'm really pleased that we've sold out of them now, listeners, apart from the 5 or 6 that Kelly's got. And we've managed to generate £800. I also want to take this opportunity on this show to say a huge thank you to an anonymous listener. I'm not going to, no names, no pack drill, who has made that £800 £1,000, added £200 to it. Pre-Christmas, that's a massive boost for the food hub. It does fantastic work locally. It's a terrible shame that people have to depend on these kind of food stores now, but that's how it is. And Kelly and her team, they post regularly on X, and you see the amount of work that they do, and it's a fantastic cause. You can't do anything in this life if you're hungry. Kids need food inside them to learn at school, and all the rest. So do adults for their work. So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that bought a calendar. I want to say a thank you to the individual who's bumped up the final total, and yeah, £1,000, not bad donation just before Christmas. So ho ho ho, from Father Christmas. I look a bit like Father Christmas these days, listeners. But anyway, there we are. So big thank you there to the boys. I'm going to play the rest of the show out now with the remainder of the voice notes, and that will be in order. I'm going to go in alphabetical order. On first name basis: Martin Colwell, Matt Richards, Mike George, Rob Abbott, and Rob Woodford to finish. Cursor being the W, Rob. Thank you for listening, dear listeners. Have a great Christmas. We're back with another show this week, so I won't make my full Christmas wish speech just yet, but we'll be back in the week. Until then, from me, Nick Hart, it's Arrivederci Millwall. Bye for now.
Oh, hi, Nick. Martin Colwell here. Season's greetings. Hope you're well. Yeah, the Blackburn game. Didn't go. Watched it on TV on Sky. basically a dreadful start. Defence looked slow. Midfield weren't supporting them, weren't getting in front of them. There was no shape. Got caught by an early goal. Could have conceded more. Dreadful, as I say, a dreadful start. Didn't really get into the game, and the fiasco with the second goal was, probably on the cards really. And 2-0 down at half time. Alex Neil did try to change it, but didn't really hard for him to change it. First half they're just punting the ball forward really, and they did it less so in the second half, but they still did it. Alfie Doughty, I mean, he tried hard, but he doesn't seem to have the legs for a central midfield player. I thought he was huffing and puffing on the way backwards and forwards. So until Millwall get at least one defensive midfielder back properly fit, because I don't think Billy Mitchell was properly fit, he looked slow. They're going to struggle in every match, I would have thought. There was no shape. I don't know what it was. It was 4-3-3, I guess, at the start. But the wingers were getting the ball, and Ivanovic was on his own. No support. There was no one behind him. And the wingers, the wide players, weren't doing anything. It would have been better to have played 4-4-1-1 and then give Ivanovic a bit of support, or 4-4-2. But these aimless balls up to him are a waste of time, and I don't know what they're doing in training. They had a week to prepare for this, and it looks like it was just a shambles, really. Second half, it improved, but one, because of effort, and two, because players like Joe Bryan, at least, I know people don't like him, but at least he's a good footballer, and he can control the ball and play it. But, he can't do it on his own, and he hasn't got the pace. Danny Mac tries hard. He's an okay defender, but he's getting nowhere near a team that's in the top six. And Caleb Taylor, shame he got dropped really, because I think if we'd gone with him and Cooper and then Crum at right back, it would have been much better. But he changed it. Everyone gets it wrong. He got it wrong. Partly cost us the game, but partly just lacklustre performance and a poor effort. And we're struggling, and we'll always struggle without Casper Denor in the team, or in his absence, Massimo Luongo. Because although again people love Billy Mitchell, he's solid, but he's unspectacular, and will never score a goal, and is injury prone. So how long will Billy be back? We don't know. But yeah, we're up against it now, and we've got Ipswich coming to the Den on Boxing Day, which hopefully will be a good game, and we'll give it a go. Not sure what we're going to do up front without Femi Aziz. Imaku, I don't rate Imaku as high as other people, but Imaku's an impact player, and there's no point putting him on for trying to play him for 90 minutes because he's a one-dimensional, one-trick pony, And Ballo seems to have run out of steam as well now. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot we can do really, is there, with all these injuries? Thought the goalie struggled, and I wonder when we'll see Lucas Jensen back in the team. I know he's playing in the under-21s. He's getting 90 minutes in there, but I'd like to see him back now, because I think Crocombe, we're starting to see why he was playing at a lower level now, I think. I think he has good games, he has bad games. And I'm not blaming him for the second goal. I think there's just a lack of communication between the two of them. First goal, you have to put down to him because it's straight at him and he just fluffs it out. But yeah, I'd like to see Lucas Jensen back. But yeah, Crammer needs to start right back because I don't think Danny Mac's good enough. Taylor, Cooper. I'd like to see Joe Bryan play now for a bit. Give Sturge a break. But centre midfield, I guess you'll have to put Billy in, but I don't know who you're going to put with him, to be honest. I don't think it's Alfie Doughty's position. I think he needs to go on the left. I think we need to try someone else in the middle. And then put a runner on the right and then put someone up with Ivanovic. Maybe play Negley off him or I don't think Langstaff's the answer because I don't think he's up to this level. And players like AJ Matthews and Carlon Grant never get on the pitch, and that I guess they're just not good enough, and they're just bench warmers, But they must provide something different. I mean, even Howland as well. I don't know, but he seems to be rigid with this team, and it's not going to work, and we're going to lose momentum with these injuries, and we need to try to nick some points until we get players back now, because we're not going to outplay teams, I don't think. I just think we just nick them, nick a few points. But, let's see how we go. Boxing Day. I've tried not to be too negative, but I know I've spoken about players. But I think, in my opinion, what I've said about some players is okay to say, because I think if you're thinking about being in the top 6 in the Championship, they're likely not there. And I know they're trying their hardest because of injuries, but again, if they're not there, they're not there. It's a bit like the England cricket team. If the players are not good enough, they're just not good enough, to compete with, Australia in the Test matches. It's the same principle. But anyway, slight moan over. Have a good Christmas Day. Everyone be at the Den on Boxing Day to get behind the team and see if we can get a result against Ipswich. Come on, you Lions.
Brooks Running reminds us that we're all powered by something. Whether it's the me-time energy of a run after a day at the office, the electrifying energy of your first marathon, or the infectious energy of a group run with your friends. No matter what energy powers you, Brooks has gear specifically designed to unleash it. So lace up and let it out. Let's run there. Visit brooksrunning.com today to learn more.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Psst, just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright-Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps is now streaming on Disney+.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Light 'em up, Johnny! Marvel's first family is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is fantastic.
And critics say it's one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Oh!
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
What time is it, Ben? It's clobbering time!
Nick, it's Matt Richards. Driving back from today's game. Oh, bloody hell. That was poor. Very poor. My feet are just boring out now. That's the only bit of good news I think I've got, really. Well, the other bit of good news is that I actually haven't got to drive 5 hours home because we're up here for Christmas. My in-laws are 45 minutes away from Blackburn. Luckily, they don't live in Blackburn. It's a bit of a shithole. Anyway, I'll be back there in about 10 minutes. So, the game, it's just so frustrating. Well, first of all, we played terrible, I think. The misplaced passes, the awful defending for the first goal, and the joke defending, well, it wasn't even defending for the second goal. Obviously, those things stand out, but I just thought, in general, I just think when players... We keep talking about injuries, and I just think that's glossing over things. How we are, where we are in the table, is just beggars belief, really. Because there's not many players missing now. I know there's players coming back from injury, but aside from your Caspers and Femi, and maybe Jensen, that's pretty much a full strength team today. I know Billy's just coming back, no Coburn as well, but. We like Ballo. Ballo would probably be first. Ballo was awful today. Thankfully, he was taken off at half time. And I just genuinely think that the squad is a lot weaker than perhaps we thought at the start of the season and perhaps early on in the season, really. Some of the players are getting found out, and it's only a matter of time before we sink lower in the league. to our typical top 8, standard finish really. And which is depressing in so much as I think we had higher hopes this year. Maybe not definitely getting the playoffs, but I just think the quality's just not there, is it? That's what I mean. I think if we're playing well, then I'll be kind of okay with losing. No one wants to lose 2-0, but we're just absolutely dog shit today. The passes that are going astray, or not even astray, but not playing it to where a player actually wants it, and so they're behind him and he has to run back for it. There's too much of that, and it's just really. I think I'm just coming away just thinking, well, we've got a tough Christmas period now. Tough games, Ipswich and Southampton, and maybe we just need to be a bit more tight to kind of nick a point or something. I don't know really, but I just generally, depressed like I suppose any Millwall fan watching that today. I think going through the players, I've already mentioned Ballo and Negley. I don't think either of them are championship players. I'd never want to criticise players, but they couldn't barely control the ball. Ballo just barely controlled the ball today and barely pass to another player. Crocombe obviously made a mistake. Who stood out today for Millwall? I think Doughty made a lot of mistakes, but at least he seemed to be trying. Or whenever he got the ball, we seemed to have a bit of momentum. Ivanovic, I do feel sorry for Ivanovic because he just, he fights and I think he wins a lot more in the air than he normally does, or he has done in the past. So he's learning that bit. He had absolutely no support and no service whatsoever. Well, Mackie was probably unlucky to be taken off at half time. But yeah, there's not much to say really about the game. Just need to hope that we put in a better performance, better tactics, less mistakes in the next game on Boxing Day. Hopefully we can get something from that. But yeah, it's just it's not working. It's not working at the moment. I know where we are in the table, and I just don't believe where we are in the table really. So yeah, that's it, Nick. Merry Christmas, and hopefully it's a brighter new year. Okay, mate. Cheers. Come on, you Lions.
Alex Neil has said in his post-match interview that we deserve nothing from the game. Not only is he right, but we struggled to get nothing. The first 20 minutes were dreadful. Zach Sturge looked nervous and unable to make a decision and therefore didn't. Caught in the wrong position for the first goal. Then Jake gave the ball away, and before we'd even raised a sweat, we were 2 goals down. I must admit I was surprised that Billy Mitchell came straight back into the starting lineup, but let's be honest, he was by far our best player today, and Ryan Leonard wasn't far behind. The second half was better, but we never really got going, and were chasing some vague hope of a draw, but couldn't really manage any meaningful efforts on goal. So Alex Neil must now re-galvanise the squad because our next opponents are far superior to Blackburn, and unless we step up to the plate, it's not going to be a very Merry Christmas for anyone associated with Millwall. Keep the faith. Come on, Millwall.
Hi, Nick. Rob Abbott. Firstly, I'd like to wish you a happy Christmas to you, your family, your friends, and best wishes for 2026. Thanks for the Achtung podcast this year. I've listened to it, so keep up the good work there. Like all the different views, opinions, the different types of shows you do. So fair play. So thank you on that. Secondly, yesterday's game at Blackburn Rovers, well, one way of looking at it for me is it epitomises what Millwall is all about. I took my 3-year-old son from Dublin for the day, and I met my dad, so Riley's granddad. So 3 generations of us following Millwall away. It's in the bloodline. So that's number one. That's what following Millwall's all about. Then number two, there's the other side of it, the football match and the result. Quite surprised with the lineup when I saw it, when I was on a train from Preston across to Blackburn. So there was no Taylor. I said after the last game, and I thought all week, that we would play a back five. And I felt that we should have played a back five. Alex Neil has a few times this year tinkered with our starting lineups at away games, and it's not really worked. Birmingham away was a complete shit show. Pompey away was a complete shit show, and yesterday was a complete shit show. I'm going to say for 45 minutes, not for 90 minutes, but the first half was embarrassing. Yeah, we're all over the show in the first goal for Blackburn. I think Crocombe should do a lot better. But then no one helps him out after he's made an error, but I put that down to a big goalkeeper error. But on the ball, we offered very, very little. The only real threat, if I remember rightly, was Negley sort of got the ball in the left-back area, and instead of passing it back to Crocombe, which I thought he was going to do, he sort of turned, broke the line, sprayed it wide to Amaku, and then fair play, he's made 50 yards and got on the end of the cross and volleyed it over. But apart from that, we were quite long balls to Ivanovic, who, to be fair, won a fair few flick-ons, but flick-ons to no one, because on the right-hand side, every time he won a flick on it, Amaku was just hanging out on the wing, not anticipating that the flick-on was going to be won. And then, just before half-time, which sort of killed the game off in a way, is, horrendous defending. Again, people's opinions might change. I put this down to Crocombe's error. I'm not too sure where he is going. Looking from his view, surely he should see McNamara is going to get there before the striker and potentially can nod it back, so should just be waiting for it. And, he's in no man's land, and we're 2-0 down. I will say half-time, 3 changes. Fair play to Alex Neil. He didn't wait to 60 minutes like he usually does. He made 3 changes. He changed the shape. He went to a back 5. Did it help us on the attack front? Probably not, because we offered very little again in the second half. I think Ivanovic a little bit of decent individual skill. We reminiscence of Pele 1958, flicked it over the defender's head and volleyed it, but it was going across the goal and they scrambled it clear. And then we had a Taylor lancing header that went wide. But the second half, at least we fought, we competed. And Blackburn weren't very good, were they? But poor from us. On to Ipswich, ups and downs, as I've said all season on the pod. Hopefully Ipswich will be an up. But we need to start doing the basics a lot better, as well as fighting and competing for every ball. And let's see what happens. We're still going to be in the mix. Come the 1st of January, we're still going to be in the mix. Can we still be in the mix at the end of January when we've potentially brought players in and we've potentially got some players back from injury? But yesterday wasn't very good. On to the next one. And a nice touch. I sent a tweet out that you saw it. Nice touch by Joe Bryan at the end of the game. He saw my son standing on the barrier and run and gave him his jersey. So fair play to Joe Bryan. What I would say though is, I mentioned it in my tweet, there was probably only about 12 kids down at the front there that have travelled all that way, wherever they were from, to see us put in a poor performance. It's the last game before Christmas. I thought more of the players would have potentially come over and said, here you go, here's a little Christmas present in a way, but no one else did. I don't think they wanted to come that close to the away following. Even though there was only probably 200 of us left there at the final whistle. But anyhow, like I said, Nick, happy Christmas. Might see you around the Den on Boxing Day or on the Bristol City game on the 29th, because I'll be at both. And take care.
Well, Nick, what a difficult one to voicemail this time. Where do we start? Well, look, too many unforced errors in the first 45 cost us this match, didn't it? Too many players having an off day. And you never want one of those to include your goalkeeper, do you? We lacked cohesion. decision-making was poor far too often. And, of course, plenty of reckless defending. Come on, Millwall, let's do the basics. Let's keep retention of the football. Too many passes were going astray, even from the trusty boot of Alfie Doughty. I don't know what the thinking was behind breaking up the Taylor-Cooper partnership at the back, but to be honest, Kramer looked a bit shaky moving back into the middle. I don't know why. Is there transfer speculation about? Look, Billy was the most composed Lions player today, and it was great to see him back, albeit with his minutes going to be managed during his rehabilitation into the squad. And another observation. What an ugly-looking boat their manager has. Mind you, if he ever got the sack, he could land a job as a doorman at the London dungeon, couldn't he? By half-time, damage limitation was on my mind, especially thinking about how we have capitulated in previous defeats this season. But a much better second half from Millwall. We upped our game. We were a bit more competitive and a bit more composed. Ivanovic worked his bollocks off with scant reward, but if I could wish for one player in the transfer window, it would be a centre forward. A genuine number 9 to play up top. Let's be honest, we're missing Josh Coburn, and Mihailo is more like an inside forward, really, isn't he? That minus goal difference is catching up with our false league position. And hopefully the second half performance will give the players a bit of confidence ahead of the Ipswich game on Boxing Day in front of a big gate at the Den. And that's the first game of 4 in a 9-day period. And then thankfully there's an interruption with the Cup just to give people a chance to get fit again and perhaps to do some shopping in the transfer window. Come on, you all.
Achtung, Millwall.
Who do you want to watch?
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. Mm-hmm. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.